in school learn 2 plus 2 equal 4 and all of these things, right? But when you go in the working world, it's a total different thing, really and truly. I wish that we would have learned a lot more things about trade, you know, a lot more things about investment in school, a lot more things about your skills, you know, being industrious, all of these things to help you in life. I know many of you right now, you're watching, and you know, whatever dream job you might have which you want to start, and then you have other persons employed, you can still start it.
Society is funny, but we're getting there. But me just tell you how society said.
Oftentimes we feel like we have to do everything by yourself. And people can't help you if they don't know that you need help.
Journey with me as I indulge in riveting discussions to impact the lives of the young and the old across the world by sharing spiritual nuggets, inspirational content, adventurous experiences, and educational information. Come along with Royalty, Young King. Royalty is the new loyalty. Welcome back to another quality right here with Mr. Jovi Royalty. I want to just big up all my newest subscribers. Julian Lowe, big up yourself. I saw you. Jezeel Martin, blessings every time. Mr. Watson, I just really appreciate the support, and I've seen the numbers growing. I just want to encourage each and every one of you. I did a little review last night on my channel, and trust me, around 57% of my viewers here are unsubscribed. If you are here, you have not yet subscribed, feel free to do so. Now today you can see in the title that I'll be looking at 5 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Mercy. You know, sometimes in life, you know, some things, if we knew it from before hand, you know, we wouldn't have made certain mistakes. You know, we would have maybe shuffled up a few things and did it differently. Now, let me just go right to the meat of the matter, because I have a lot of things to get off my chest in this video. Number 1, one of the biggest scams that we have, which is really not a scam, but it's a scam. We were told by growing up to go to school, get good grades, so that you can be able to get a job. Now, look at me. I went to school. I got grades, some good, some bad, and I have a job. Now, what did that do for me? One, of course, it allowed me to matriculate in life, in bettering myself personally and educationally. But at the end of the day though, did I really see where is going to school, get good grades, put me in a different category from those who did not get good grades? Now let me take the meat of the matter home. A lot of people right now who are unemployed, or are basically not working, or who went to school and they dropped out, some of them, they are entrepreneurs. Some of them, they are making it in life. And for persons who are doing the 9 to 5, they are the ones trying. And you are told that you need to be able to get your degree in order for you to get to a certain position. So all of this, you are encouraged to get in order for you to get a specific pay that is capped. And for some, of course, you might get overtime depending on if your organization provides that. However, when you are trained in school about trade, or you're encouraged about, hey, what is it that you love, you can be able to try to use this as the way of going about to get your bread. You know, try to improve on it, try to get more, you know, navigating around your skill. You know, find ways how you can be able to get further and further in building yourself. Now, if you look at that and you realize that the schools were really and truly encouraging these things, you would have found more tradesmen out there. You'd have found people who are more entrepreneurs. Of course, you need space for people to do 9 to 5. But at the end of the day, we realized that this whole thing here was just setting us up to learn things that really and truly we didn't need right now in this life. Some things are practical, some things are actual, logical, and needed, which would have helped us to have some knowledge as to the operations of things in the working environment. But when you look at it, it's really when you go in the working environment that you learn a lot of things. You know, the practical part, you don't really get that in school. So most people see this as a scam, because you're going to spend enough money in college just so that you can come to make a little bit or nothing, so you can be able to live hand to mouth many times. When you are in school, the school institutions, I realize that the system don't really cater much to a lot of trades. You know, a lot of things that can help people to learn things about mechanics, you know, learn about carpentry, learn about engineering, electronic, you know, those things. If we had the institutions really pushing some of these farming, you know, we would have more and more people out there who could be generating a lot of income and pumping back these different knowledge into younger ones, being mentors. And so institutions such as schools, you know, we grew up and we learned that, hey, listen, man, get good grades, man, so you can be able to come out to something in life. But might I tell you, a lot of people who were just idlers in school, they might not have a job right now or work for somebody, but some of them will make a nice little money on the side because they use their trade, their skills. And so if the schools really and truly had pushed these things, some of us wouldn't have been in a situation where we're right now trying to fight with the rat race to get a good job. So for me, this is one of the things I really wish I knew in my early 20s, that listen, you can be able to use whatever skills you have, work on that, and be able to make yourself marketable out there. In this whole YouTube space, I never really saw the YouTube space as one that could really and truly make you make even a lot more money than a lot of persons who are out there. And life is not about making only money, but you need money in order for you to make something of yourself or help yourself in life. Because you're gonna need it, especially in this time of inflation, which is always rapidly going up. So a lot of people see their pay right here, so but expenses, expenditure, everything is just climbing. And when you look at life, just getting a good job won't cut it, because right now you're gonna need multiple sources of income. While you're here in your 20s, you might be in your 30s or 40 right now. It's not too late to still go after that dream. Don't only stick to the job, but find something else that you can find yourself being passionate about and living out your life, feeling fulfilled, not just existing, but living. If you agree with me on this one, you can drop it in the comments, because definitely this is something I hear on the lips of many persons. Save and invest. Really, in school, a lot of times we don't really get to learn about saving and investment. It's really when you get out into the working world and you realize that you may have a financial advisor come to you, or you may hear the organization say, hey, you're going to need to contribute to NHT or pension, or, you know, your life insurance, or, you know, you might think about having children, so hear about Omni and all of these things. But for me, just a little plug in right here. When I was making $10,000 at a financial institution, I realized that I could have saved $5,000 and put it to savings. And when I looked and I saw my first $100,000 in my account, I was like, look at that. While other persons were just cursing and saying, boy, this not enough for me. But it's the mindset, the mentality. What are you really looking towards? So I was way ahead in saving because I knew a little bit about this. But might I be in a position where I knew more about this investing thing? I could have been able to say, all right, from the earlier age, I could have been putting some money somewhere so I can see a long-term turnover of this money. Or I could have just do a quick sell, right, whenever I bought into a share and just get it back if I saw where that was really and truly giving some great gains or profits or dividends. And so I didn't know much about that in my earlier 20s. Now, for somebody watching this, if this is something that you find that you want and you have interest in, I would encourage you, go and read up on all these things, you know, how to be able to budget, how to be able to invest, and learn about different institutions that are out there that exist, that provides you with these various options for you to invest so you can see the returns on your money in the future. The race is not for the swift, but for those who endure. So many persons, you do this and you don't see the return same time, but you want to just run and get a quick money. Like you had so many different things called, you know, the loom that was going around where you get a little $25 put here and you're promised 100,000. Those are not the kind of the schemes that I'm talking about. Go into the different things, learn about the banking institutions and what they offer. This is the thing. If we learned about these things earlier on in our lives, you know, a lot of the simple mistakes that we make with money by getting money and trying to go out there and to squander it and getting liquor and getting, you know, weed and those things to impress friends, buying clothes, you know, to go out and go to parties and all these things. If we knew about these things in our earlier days, we would be able to appreciate how to grow and have better management of our finances. And so with the institutions, we really and truly wish that they could have given us those avenues, you know, that leverage in information so we could have learned this. Moving on to number 3. Failure is not an option. We hear that many times in life, that failure is not an option. But might I tell you that failing your way through life sometimes really works, because here what? It pushes you to take risk. And I realized that I took risk, especially when it came on to the entrepreneur field. I tried out different marketing, network marketing agencies and, you know, jobs, and I realized that for me, I learned so much from it. It helped me in life, and it allowed me to see that, hey, there are other options out there. You don't have to just stick to what you know, and you might go and you might not see where this thing comes to fruition and it works successfully for you, but at the end of the day, you learn something. So when you take risk and you calculate that risk, so calculated risk is what I'm actually encouraging you to take, not to take any type of risk that doesn't make sense, and you actually give yourself more pressure and put yourself in debts and everything. No, not encouraging that. But they normally say that failure is not an option, but I always say that failure is an option, because failure allows you to see what your mistakes were, and you can be able to make better decisions, and you can be able to have the calculated risk measured much better for you in life. So that mistake you would have made, you learn from it. So that is one thing that I realized that was synced in our brains when we were younger while growing up. We even hear it now. But let me tell you, if it is that you're passionate about something, go about it. Fail your way to the top is what I say. Make mistakes, because one day those failures will be your greatest success. And another plug right here, please be patient while you're failing, because in that failing time, you're learning. It's like iron sharpening iron. Is like you have fire just touching on your skin, and it's saying, hey, listen to me, no man, I'm scorching you. But at the same time, you're learning that, hey, next time when you see the fire, right, you know what you can expect. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set some bomb and you try to detour and find the ways that you wouldn't have to go back to encounter the fire, you know, or find a way so you can be able to eliminate that. So that's what the failure allows you to do in life. And so you're able to see the delayed gratification in the end once you have patience. So enduring patience while failing, so you can be able to experience success. Wise words from royalty. Alright, so the next thing is number 4, organizations. They said that, hey, you must be stationary, you must be at one place, sitting down, you know, in a centralized area. But really and truly realize that a lot of people right now, they can work remotely. And people can be in a plane, they can be on a beach side, they can be at a hotel, they can be anywhere. And they're working and making money and making life make sense while they're contributing to their organizational growth and profitability. But listen, we have to know to strike the balance. You understand? 5th and final. This one is important. So after reaching in adult life, life hits us hard and we don't know what to do. Why? Because some of you might not have parents to or guardian to show you that, listen, so when you go out in the real world, you're gonna have to have bills to pay, which covers under the bills, utilities, you know, water, everything you're gonna have to encounter. And sometimes if you have a vehicle, you know, if you're looking at that aspect of your life, or a house, you're gonna have to cover mortgage. Or if you don't yet have your house, which is your own, you're gonna have to pay rent, and you're gonna have to move about to try to seek a way to have some roof above you. And so when the tough times come, when you need to learn how to calculate, to know, so alright, need to make a budget so that I can be able to go out there and I can put 1 and 2 together when it's groceries time. You don't really know what to do. You don't get those type of home training. You don't really get that information. So a lot of persons, they really and truly have that struggle. It was recently I was having a deep conversation. One of them were saying like, boy, you know, life rough, you know. Like, they're at a place right now where I not really get a good pay. And when I look at it, I feel cover like Bill and boy, I feel try to cover XYZ. It's tough, you know, and that person never had any experience as to, or any training, or anyone giving them any information as to, hey, listen, this is what you have to encounter in life. This is what you can do to try to help yourself to alleviate some of that, you know, stress or struggle that you would have right there. And so many times we are not engaged in these conversations by the adults, you know, the parents or guardians, or, you know, mature friends who have already gone through these things, or they are living and taking responsibility of their lives. And so with that, you know, so many persons right now in their 20s, you're trying to find a way out to make things work for you. You know, you're trying to struggle through life and to make ends meet. And so with that, encourage anyone, you're right now in your 20s, you don't know how life is going to turn out for you. Right now you're just in a mood of, hey, things are going wrong, I'm just trying to figure it out. Keep on figuring it out. Keep on doing what you have to do so that you can be able to reach to that place that you really want to be. Don't stifle your dreams by looking at someone else. There was a quote that I heard sometime today by a colleague, you know, it's better to start now so that you can be ahead in the future. So many persons stop and they look at other persons, they're excelling and they're shining in their area of their expertise, and they start to compare themselves and say, boy, look at that person doing this and look at them. But what are you doing to ensure that your steps that you're taking now, the small steps, they add up in the end to make the bigger step that you needed to see? I just wanted to touch on these things in other persons. You might be thinking like me, you know, and this is something that you can share your comments, your thoughts in the comment section so that we can have a discussion. I just thank you so much again for logging on this week, and for every single Sunday at 3 p.m. you can look out for Royalty Young King with our content. And Wednesdays, yes, Wednesdays will have some of my contents that will also touch on things that did you know, you know, still having that. And look out as well for my podcast coming in November. Some deep stories, things you would have never thought about by looking at people. I'll see you again next week, Sunday at 3 p.m. Same place, same time. I'm out from Royalty Young King. Bless you. Really and truly, if we knew about all of this, you know, to get a good job and all of these things,